Today we're making yogurt in a cup. I have my recipe and I'm going to follow it while I work. So it says I need 1.5 cups flour. So I have my flour with me. I have a cup of butter melted. I have my butter and we will melt it. Powdered sugar. I have my powdered sugar. Half a teaspoon vanilla. I've got my vanilla. 6 teaspoons cold water and a large container of yogurt, any flavor. So I chose the vanilla. Preheat the oven to 375 degrees. In our prior video, we learned how to do that, and I have it warming right now. In a bowl, add flour and powdered sugar. Mix together. So I'm going to take my bowl. I'm going to move my screen down so you can see my counter. Our oven is preheated. Okay, so in this bowl we need 1.5 cups of flour. So here's our flour. And we need 1.5 cups. So I'm going to do it over the sink so you won't see me because I just made a mess. And I'm going to put 1 cup in, and I'm going to do another half a cup. I always make a mess with flour, so I always do it over the sink, so I don't make a mess on my counter. So we have 1.5 cups flour. I'm going to cover my flour back up. And then it says add powdered sugar. We're supposed to have 6 tablespoons of powdered sugar. I forgot to get my tablespoon out, so I'm going to get that right now. Sorry guys, that's why you always be prepared, right? Okay, so I have my half a tablespoon, so I need 2 of them, of powdered sugar. So I'm going to take 2 tablespoons, 1, 2, that equals 1. Sorry, these are half a tablespoons. 2, 3, we need 6, 4, 5, and 6. So because I used a half a tablespoon, I had to use 2 halves, 2 scoops for 1 tablespoon. That means I actually needed 12 of these. My tablespoon is actually in the wash. So next it says mix together. So we're going to mix it together really well. And then we need to add room temperature butter. Well, I didn't leave my butter out, so I'm going to just gently warm it in the microwave. I don't want it liquid, I just want it soft. So my microwave has a setting where I can just warm it or melt it. So I'm going to do that real quick. And because my butter doesn't fit in my bowl very well, I'm going to actually cut my butter in half so it doesn't boil, doesn't melt out. So my butter's softening, and while it does that, I'm just going to keep mixing. And after the butter, we're going to add 6 tablespoons of cold water. So I'm going to get the cold water, which is actually behind my computer, so you will have to bear with me. I need 6 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I use 6 tablespoons cold water, and I'm waiting for my butter, which should be done any second. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to actually pick up some of the things that I don't need anymore. So I'm going to put these items away because it's easier to work in a clean kitchen. Look and see if our butter is perfectly softened. So you can see it's not melted, it's just soft. So we're going to add that in here. Put that in the sink. You need a napkin because I got some butter on my fingers. And we're going to mix the butter in here until it says it's crumbly. So we're going to slowly mix our bowl with the flour and powdered sugar. And it is kind of messy, so you have to do it slow. And I'm using a fork to mix it. Kind of got to just be patient. Right? Use the back of the fork, break down the butter a little bit. And once it's crumbly, it says to add the water that we measured out. And I'm almost there. I think our mix is pretty crumbly. So I'm going to add the 6 tablespoons of water. My guess is it's going to turn it into a dough. Sure is. So it might be hard to stir. You might need help from a grown-up, a parent, because it does get kind of tough. Okay. And it's also going to be sticky, just to warn you. So it's going to get kind of sticky. The next thing it says is grease a muffin tin and spread the dough. So I'm going to grease the muffin tins with a baking spray. There's lots of different baking sprays. You can use whatever. Oliver, I have a cat who likes to beat up my dog, so I'm sorry. I have to yell at him sometimes. That's something else you can do over the sink so it doesn't make a mess. So my baking tin, I don't know if you can see that. There's grease in there. So then it says press dough along the side. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the dough. Make sure your hands are freshly washed and clean. I did before I started cooking. And I'm going to press it into each muffin tin. You see how I'm pressing it? Here, I'll move the screen down a little bit, how I do it. Into, you can use this 12 pan if you want. I only have a 6 pan muffin tin right now. So you just push it in. Until it's nice and full. Looks like I have enough dough for about 6 anyway, so it's perfect. I'm just going to use the rest of my dough. See how it's sticking to my hand? Not a big deal. I can wash my hands. Bake until golden brown, about 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm going to be back. I'm going to put my muffin tin with my dough in the oven and set my timer for 15 minutes. I will be back when it's pulled out of the oven. I just got done putting the muffin tin in the oven and I realized we like to cook in a clean kitchen, right? So we need to clean up our stuff. You know, we did not use the vanilla. Maybe I missed it, or maybe we don't use it yet. I missed the step. I forgot to add the vanilla with the cold water. That's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. It might taste a little different, but you know, we always learn from our mistakes. So I should have known the vanilla was sitting here. It's just sometimes when I'm recording, I miss things. So I'm going to put everything away. If you caught that I forgot the vanilla and you added it, good job. I'm proud of you. And then I'm going to spray my counter down to make sure it's clean for when my muffins come out. When I spray, I want to make sure I'm not getting the other food that I have waiting for when my tin comes out. So I'm just going to spray my counter, get a fresh paper towel or washcloth, and I'm going to wipe my counter down. This reduces germs and keeps a clean kitchen. Okay, so I'll be back as soon as it comes out of the oven. So my stuff in the oven is done. I'm going to put a towel or something that is heat absorbent down on my counter. My counter is heat resistant, but yours may not be, so it's important anytime you put something hot down, you have something safe to set it on. So I'm going to grab that from the oven, and I am going to be using an oven safe mint that I will put my hands in so that way I do not get burnt. So they are done. They're slightly golden brown, and we are going to let them sit and cool for about 15 minutes, and we'll be back to add the toppings. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes and my pan is cool to the touch. So I'm going to take one of the things out and put it in a bowl. You can see in my bowl. I'm going to put a little yogurt, any kind that you want is fine, on top of it. Put as much or as little as you want. I'm just going to put one big scoop. And then that goes back in the fridge. And I have blueberries and raspberries for mine. I have not opened it yet, so I have to open it. And I did get the ones that were pre-washed. I always suggest washing them at home, but for this demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and put them in. And I already washed my raspberries, so I'm going to just put a few raspberries on too. So now I have a delicious breakfast or snack. Enjoy!